Good day everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to play the board game Monopoly House Divided. Now the object of the game is you're going to try to get the most amount of votes by the time the game ends. And the game is going to end once the last of these states is purchased here on the board. We'll go over some of the parts. Right over here we've got your tokens, and I'll go ahead and show you what you've got. Here we have the peace symbol, you've got the elephant, you've got the flag, you've got the teacup, you've got the donkey, and then you have the eagle. Now you're going to go ahead and select one of these tokens, and then you'll put it there on the go space, and then you're going to also get the corresponding candidate card that goes along with it. As you can see, they're all over here. Now you're going to either be a part of the blue party or the red party, and the significance with this is just going to be whenever you start drawing these cards over here, and I'll talk about those here in a little bit. Right over here you've got voting chips, and the voting chips are going to represent each of the different parties, and what you're going to be using these for is anytime you draw the I voted cards, there's going to be certain things that you're going to be voting on, and again I'll talk about how that works here in a little bit as well. You've got states here on the board. Now there's 50 states in the United States. About half of those states are represented over here, and each of these states has a title deed card that goes along with it, and here is a title deed card. Right over there is your money. In the very beginning, everybody is going to be receiving $1,500. And right over here is the White House token. Now, this does two things. Number one, it's going to double the amount of rent that you have on the states that you own. And two, if you have this at the end, it's going to garner you an extra 10 votes. So what you're going to do in the very beginning is you're going to take the dice and you're going to roll them, and you're going to move that amount of spaces. If you roll doubles, you will get to go again. And in this case, I've rolled a 9. So let's say I'm the eagle and I decide I'm going to go ahead and go 9 spaces, and I've landed on Alabama. Now, if nobody owns Alabama, this will give me the opportunity to purchase it, and I will go ahead and pay this purchase price over here, and then I will receive a title deed that looks like this. Now, anytime somebody lands on this, they're going to have to pay me rent. Now, if they land on the state, they're going to typically pay me $8 in rent. If I happen to own the entire color set, meaning that I own all 3 that are in the same color group, that rent is going to double. In this case, they're going to pay me $16. Now, if I have any headquarters that is built on these, 1, 2, or 3 headquarters, this is the amount that they're going to pay me. And the way you're going to be building headquarters is if you own all of the deeds that are in the color group, you'll be able to build them, and you'll just simply build it for the amount that is listed over here. You're going to have to pick the color headquarters that goes with your candidate cards. If your candidate is part of the blue party, you're going to build a blue headquarters, and you would just simply place it on here like that. Now, if it turns out that the property is owned, you're going to go ahead and just simply pay the rent that is due. And again, if you have possession of the White House, this is going to double your rent. If you do not want this, you can always auction it off, and the auctioning, you can start it off with $10 and build it up in increments as little as $1, and you'll just bid and bid and bid, and whoever wins the bidding will go ahead and pay the bank the amount that was bid on the auction, and they will go ahead and take possession of the state. Now, if nobody wants the state, it's just simply going to stay where it is. Now, we'll go ahead and go over some of the other spaces over here. Now, here's go. If you, as you pass go, you're going to go ahead and collect $200 salary. There are different spaces that say executive power, and these represent these cards over here. Now, these cards can be pretty nasty. Some of these cards you can hold on to, others you'll play immediately. This one says cancel an action played against you, so this is one you can hold on to. This is a get out of jail free card over here. There's one that says place a campaign headquarters on any one of your states in a complete color set for free. There's another one that says swap any one of your states with another one of your party's candidate. Here's another one that says take $150 from any blue candidate. If there are no blue candidates, takes $100 from the treasury. And there's a whole bunch of cards like this. Right over here is the campaign bus. If you land on this, this will allow you to travel to any space before the next campaign bus. So if I landed over here and I wanted to go over here, I could very well do that. The I voted space, this is where you're going to be using these voting chips. If you land on the I voted space, you'll just simply draw a card, and then you'll read it, and it says vote any red candidate to collect $50 from the treasury. If there are no red candidates, you will collect $50 from the treasury. Here's another one that says vote to send any one candidate to jail. Basically what will happen is everybody's going to go ahead and select a token of the player that they want to vote on, and they'll just go ahead and place it here in the middle of the board or in front of them, and whoever garners the most amount of votes is going to receive the action. So in this case, if the peace symbol ended up getting the most amount of votes, they're going to go ahead and go to jail. Now, if there's a tie, the person who drew the card is going to have the tiebreaker vote. Over there is a go to jail space. If you land in jail, you're going to go over here. You won't pass go, you won't collect $200. There's 3 ways you can get out of jail. Number 1, you can go ahead and pay $50 and get out of jail that way. If you happen to have a get out of jail free card, you can go ahead and play that and then get out of jail that way. You will have 3 turns to try to roll doubles. And if you're able to do that, you will go ahead and get out of jail and move that amount. If after those 3 turns you have not rolled doubles, you will just simply pay the $50. And whatever you roll, you go ahead and move out that amount. You can also go to jail if you roll doubles 3 times in a row, or if you get a card that sends you to jail. Now, with the White House over here, there's 2 ways you can get this. There's a card that will allow you to get this, but if you roll doubles on your turn, you're going to take possession of the White House. And again, what this is going to do, this is going to double the rent on all of the properties that you own, and you're also going to receive 10 votes at the end of the game if you have this in your possession. Now in this game you can also do deals and trades. You can try to sell people states for an agreed upon price. You can trade states with each other to try to go ahead and get a monopoly. If you end up doing trades with the states and there happens to be a headquarters on that state, you're going to have to go ahead and sell off the headquarters first before you sell the state. And the headquarters you're going to be able to just simply sell back at the face value. Now there are some cards that are going to allow you to steal states. If there happens to be a state that you steal that has the opposite color of your party on here, what you'll simply do is you'll just simply take off that person's colored campaign headquarters and then put yours on there. Now if you would like to sell states because you don't have enough money or something like that, you would just simply sell the states back to the bank at face value. If there happen to be any headquarters on there, you're going to go ahead and sell those off first at face value. You cannot go bankrupt in this game. If it turns out you run out of money or whatever, you're still going to be in the game. Now whenever the last state has been purchased, everybody's going to go ahead and count up their votes. And the way you're going to count up the votes is you're going to simply look at each of your states here and just see how much it's worth. So Alabama right now, since it has 1 headquarters, it is going to be worth 5 votes. And then you're just simply going to look through all of these states and just count them up. And you're also going to count 10 points for the White House. And after everyone has counted up all of their votes, they're going to go ahead and compare them, and whoever has the most amount of votes is going to win. In case there is a tie, the person who has the most amount of cash is going to win. And that, folks, is Monopoly House Divided.